I looked when he opened the sixth seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth, as a fig tree drops its light figs when it is shaken by a mighty wind. Then the sky receded as a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. Revelation chapter 6, verses 12 through 14. The Bible says that God will use cosmic activity to get the world's attention as the day of the Lord is coming. And now something big just happened in our space, showing that the prophecy is being fulfilled. The brightest gamma ray burst illuminates our galaxy as never before. Images of the rare and powerful cosmic phenomenon called GRB 221009A show a halo and a bullseye-like shape. Experts all say it was 10 times brighter than any other previously detected. GRB 221009A was first reported when NASA's Neil Gabriel Swift Observatory detected X-rays on the 9th of October. 2022. The source appeared to be located in our Milky Way, not far from the galactic center. However, more data from Swift and NASA's Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope soon suggested it was much further away. Observations from the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope then pinpointed the burst to a much more distant galaxy that happened to be behind our own, being much further away, around 2 billion light-years instead of several tens of thousands, meant that the GRB had to be exceptionally bright. Statistically, a GRB as bright as GRB 221009A is only expected to happen once in many thousands of years. It may even be the brightest gamma ray burst since human civilization began. Astronomers therefore dubbed it both the brightest of all time. This has been a very eye-opening event. We have been very lucky to witness it, says Alicia Rucco Escorial, an ESA research fellow who studies GRBS. Calculations show that for the few seconds it lasted, the blast deposited around a gigawatt of power into Earth's upper atmosphere. That is the equivalent of a terrestrial power station's energy output. A number of other ESA spacecraft, XMM Newton Solar Orbiter, Bepi, Colombo, Gaia, and SOHO, also detected the GRB or its effects on our galaxy. The event was so bright that even today the residual radiation known as the afterglow is still visible and will remain so for a long time. Yet so far, gamma ray bursts have only been detected in distant galaxies. However, it is possible for one to occur in our Milky Way galaxy. The Order Cavian extinction, one of 5 big extinction events in our planet's history, happened around 450 million years ago and might have been caused by an ice age triggered by a gamma ray burst. If a new gamma ray burst were to happen near Earth, it would strip our planet's protective ozone layer away and expose all life to deadly ultraviolet radiation. In other words, that would be a genocidal disaster. Once it happens, all we on Earth could do was helplessly watch the powers of the universe in action. Well, only God has such power. This reminds us of biblical prophecies about the end time and the second coming of Jesus Christ. As he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will this be, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the close of the age?" Matthew chapter 24 verse 3. 3 words could summarize what Jesus says here. Cosmic, public, and redemptive. Christ's return doesn't just involve human beings, it affects the entire creation. Therefore, cosmic events serve as a warning or sign that the end is near. That is understandable, because either way, God also controls the powers of the universe. The Bible plainly says that God created the universe. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 and Hebrews chapter 11 verse 3. When God was talking to the patriarch Job, he made clear statements about his control of the universe. "Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Who determined its measurements? Who stretched the line upon it? To what were its foundations fastened?" Job chapter 38 verses 4 through 6. God continues, "Can you bind the cluster of the Pleiades, or loose the belt of Orion? Can you send out lightnings that they may go?" Verses 31 and 35. Yes, God not only controls the powers of the heavens, the Bible shows that he also uses them to get mankind's attention. God used heavenly signs in the past. After the flood, God made a covenant with Noah that water would never again destroy all life on earth. God made a rainbow in the sky to confirm this promise. Genesis chapter 9 verses 8 through 17. In the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, God rained down fire and brimstone to burn up these cities because of their wickedness. Genesis chapter 19 verse 24. Later, when the Israelites were slaves in Egypt, God used heavenly signs as part of the plagues on Egypt. The 7th plague was thunderous hail mingled with fire. Exodus chapter 9 verse 24 and verse 28. While the 9th plague was total darkness so intense it could be felt. Exodus chapter 10 verse 21. What makes these two events even more miraculous is that the area where the Israelites lived was not affected by these two plagues. Exodus chapter 9 verse 26 and chapter 10 verse 23. In the days of Joshua, God caused the sun and moon to stop moving for several hours during a battle. Joshua chapter 10 verses 12 through 13. God even caused 3 hours of darkness in Jerusalem after Christ died. Matthew chapter 27 verse 45. God will use heavenly signs in the future. The Bible says there will be heavenly signs in the future. These events will be so dramatic that the asteroid exploding over Russia will seem like a mere firecracker because of mankind's continual disregard for God's laws and His creation. God will use cosmic disturbances to humble mankind and bring us to our knees. Even today, God is beginning to give warnings through the uncharacteristic natural disasters occurring all over the globe, but the more we ignore God's warnings, the more intense disasters will become. Notice what God says through the prophet Isaiah: "Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth will move out of her place in the day of His fierce wrath." Isaiah chapter 13 verse 13. The asteroid that passed by didn't really affect the Earth's orbit, but God says the time is coming when the Earth's orbit will be affected, perhaps by cosmic activity during the coming time of Jacob's trouble. It appears an asteroid or comet will land in the ocean and kill a third of the sea life and destroy a third of the ships. Another asteroid-type meteor will land in rivers and make the water undrinkable. Verses 10 and 11. And smaller yet destructive meteorites will pummel the earth. Revelation chapter 6 verse 13. As in Egypt long ago, darkness will once again come upon the earth. Revelation chapter 8 verse 12, chapter 16 verse 10, and Joel chapter 2 verse 10. Jesus Christ spoke about the fearful time, and there will be signs in the sun and the moon and in the stars, and on the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them from fear and the expectation of those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven will be shaken. Luke chapter 21 verses 25 and 26. Many will fear for their lives, expecting all these comic disturbances to kill them. The last heavenly sign finally, after the sky has fallen, the earth has moved out of place, and darkness has covered the earth. A final heavenly sign will appear. It will be Jesus Christ returning to this earth as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all of the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Matthew chapter 24 verse 30. God is going to shake the powers of heaven to show His displeasure of what mankind has done to His creation, but to those who obey God now, He promises shelter from those coming calamities. Joel chapter 3 verses 15 and 16. But once God's wrath is over, He will send Jesus Christ to restore God's creation and restore God's government on this earth. Now is the time to make sure our relationship with God is right, so we can be accounted worthy to not only escape these coming times, but to stand before Jesus Christ when He returns. Luke chapter 21 verse 36. That's all the information that we have for you today. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today's episode, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss out on future episodes. And be sure to also tell us what you think about today's content. Everyone's support motivates us to continue delivering quality content and to always improve. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.